Okay, let's take a look at KiCAD. This is the project manager, and this is where you start to do your projects. So let's start to make a new project. File, new, blank project. And then we select where we want to place this project. And I kind of like to put it in my Dropbox. And the reason for that is that I have this stationary computer, and I also have a laptop computer. And I have KiCAD on both those systems. So if I do something on my desktop computer and I put it in Dropbox, that will automatically update it on my laptop. So that's a good idea to have a Dropbox, or if you have a Google Drive, or if you have something similar like that. So let's find the search part here. It's on my desktop. Now let's see here, we have a Dropbox here, private, and I have my KiCAD projects here. So the first thing is that you should put it in a directory. And by default, a KiCAD project folder, so you need to create that for yourself. So right click on the mouse and select new and folder. And we name this switch, I think. Switch. Then we go into that folder, switch, and we call the project the same. Save. And now we have the project, and for the time being it's nothing in it. But let's start to create a schematic. And if you press this symbol, you open up the EE schema, which is the schematic editor for KiCAD. And then you get this warning. It's a really annoying warning, but just ignore it. The only thing it says is that we haven't saved our file, and of course we haven't created it yet, so just press OK. And if we want to save this before we do anything else, we could go up to File, and then we say save whole schematic project. So now it's saved. So okay. And if you use the scroll mouse, you can zoom in and zoom out into this little schematic. And if we take a look at the bottom right here, we have some information. The file name is called switch.sch, which is the schematic file. And we can see the paper format is an A4 size. It's an European standard. In America you have something called letter, I believe. And the first thing we should do is to populate this information with some information. And you do this by go up here to the page settings. And here you can also select another paper format if you would like that. I will go for the A4 standard European version. We can have a revision number like 0.1 revision. We can title this the switch thingy. The switch thingy. Press OK. Put the title of the switch thingy, the file, go up to the page settings again. We say the company name, my company limited. Let's go this up there. And maybe we want to put in our name as well. I can do that as a comment. Okay. So now we have edited our schematic here. And if you want to zoom out the whole page, we can go up to this little icon, which is the fit the schematic sheet on the screen button. It's quite useful. Or you can use the scroll mouse in and out. Yeah. So that's that. Let's place the first component. If you want to place a component, you go up to this little icon here. It's called Place a Component. Click it. And let's place some component in the middle of the sheet here. And now this pop-up window comes up. And there are some different ways you can search for component here. But let's start by list all. This lists all the library that's available to you. And the generic components are placed in this device library. So let's open that. Okay. And here we get some list of commonly used components like resistors, capacitors, and things like that. So we can filter by searching resistor. No, I thought the resistor is too much. Only R then. Okay. R. Let's see. R. There we have it. R. Capital R. So okay. And before I press the left mouse button here, I can move it around. And I can zoom in and out, take a look at it. And while I have it, so I can move it around, I can press the R key, which rotates the device, in this case a resistor. And this is a European symbol for a resistor. The American symbol looks like a squiggly line of some sort. Unfortunately, at the time being, there is no American component standard for the schematics yet in KiCAD, but it may come, I don't know. So I want to place this. I press the left mouse button like that, and that's one way to place the component. Another way is to press the A key. There is a lot of shortcut keys, and I urge you to learn the shortcuts keys for everything. And you have a little help menu. If you press the question mark, a list of all the shortcut keys comes up. So here you can see add component. You want to press the letter A on your keyboard instead of go up to this symbol. And if you use this shortcut key, you can also change it. This is the default shortcut keys. You can go up to preference here and go to hotkeys and edit hotkeys. So you can edit them to your own liking. Maybe you're used to another PCB CAD of some sort and you want the shortcut keys that you are used to, then you can just change it here, whatever you want. You can also go up to preference and save your preference after you have edited them. So that's a good thing. So let's press A for add component. And now we also have a history list here. These are the components I have placed. So you can see that we have already placed a resistor here. So I can just use that one. And I can place that like that if I want. But in this case, I only need one resistor. So I want to delete this one. And then I got to this arrow so I can point at things. I hover the cursor over the resistor here and just press delete, and then it escapes. I can also go to a component, hover over it and press the right key and get a list of things I can do, and you also see the shortcuts key for what I can do here. Delete component, press del or just press here. So let's place a light emitting diode here, so press A. List all devices, device library, okay. LED, let's search LED, there we got it. I would like to have a battery as well, press A, list all devices, batteries, battery, there we got it. Okay, then we have a battery. Let's rotate it like that. And now we need a little switch as well. So press A for adding component. Switch, no, let's go to list, device, SW, oh yeah, switch, dual switch, switch, inverting switch, push switch, small push switch. Interesting. I don't want that. Push switch. Yeah, that looks better. And let's wire this thing together. Need place a wire up here. Or you can use the shortcut keys, of course. What's that? Begin wire W. You could press W if you wanted. Okay. So let's connect this to that. And now we have a little schematic here. So I change the pointer here. Let's take a look at the resistor value here. You have a resistor value. This is the resistor value R, and the R question mark here is the component reference. So if you annotate these components, you annotate them like R1, R2, R3, and so on for the resistors, and maybe D1, D2, D3 for the diodes. And that is done by the system here. If you press the, let's see, annotate the component in the schematic, but we're not there quite yet. First we need to change the value here. Maybe we want 1K here. So then we hover over here and we press the E as in edit. And we get an option here to change the value. We select that, and instead of R we say 1K, press OK, and now that's 1K here. And maybe we don't want this reference to be here, we maybe want to move this. Then we hover over this part and press M as in move, and we can move that thing. And maybe we want to move that to the outside. And here is a bit confusing because it doesn't know if you mean the field value or if you mean to move the component. So in this case I want to move the field value. So I click here, and now I can put this outside of the resistor. There's a couple of things we need to do here before we can go into the printed circuit board. The first thing we should do is to annotate the components, and we do that by pressing this little button, annotate the components in the schematic. And you can choose from how it should annotate, from left to right, 1, 2, 3, from top to bottom, and so on. Just press the annotation button. So annotate only the unannotated components on the entire schematics. Yes, yes, yes. This operation will change the current annotation and cannot be undone. Okay, fine. And now we see this is called R1, this is called D1 now, and switch 1 and battery 1. And we need to have some sort of ground in the schematic. That's a good thing. Let's place a component ground, and it's in the power library, I guess. Power. Say we have let's say we have 5 volt battery there. Connect that to circuit like that, and we need to place a ground. Okay, now power, ground, analog ground, ordinary ground. Yeah, place that somewhere down there, connect that one, and yeah, let's do save this file, save whole schematic project, do electrical rule check, test ERC, and get this warning: pin connected to some other pins but not to pin to drive it. And this is a newbie thing. It doesn't you can't just put this component there. You need to connect this to a power flag, it's called. Let's do that. Close, add new component. What we need is this power flag. We can place it wherever we want on the schematic. And we need another one, so we can copy this. Just hover over this part and press C. Then you copy it. So let's copy that one. Copy. Rotate it. And let's hover over this one. Copy. Place it here. Some wire, connect this power flag to the 5V indication and a power flag to the ground indication. So now let's test the design rule check again. Test, and now it's nothing wrong, so we are ready to go. Before I end this video, I wanted to show you another way to select components, and that is by placing the components, press A, and then we go into the select by browser. And in this mode you can select a library, for instance the device library here, or yeah, take the device library, and you can go into and look at each and every schematic symbol. So you can see if it is the one that you want. So let's take a look at switches. I think we have them down here. This is one version of a representation of a switch. This is another. This is a third. This is a fourth, and this is a fifth version of a switch. Maybe you prefer this one, or maybe you prefer that one. This is an excellent way to browse each part to see how they look. Okay, let's go to File and Save Whole Schematic Project.